Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. And what is this video about? Well, you see, the thing is, sometime around Christmas, it was Friday night. I was really bored. And I got a little bit drunk and I bought an SH-101 on eBay. And here it is. Okay, that's it. See you. Bye. No, that's not really it. That was just a little joke. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to sort of play around with it and make some sounds, explore it, just talk a little bit about it and, record the whole thing, stick it on Patreon. And at some point, I'll probably go through and do some more meticulous sort of sampling to make a little sample pack out of it. But anyway, it's difficult to know where to start with the SH-101. It's something of a classic. I sort of need to make it a little bit clear that I've never really been like a hardware fetishist, whether it's old, retro, or new and contemporary. I'm pretty much happy just working in the box. However, whenever I think of the SH-101, I do get a fuzzy feeling inside. So many pieces of music that I know and love that give me the feels have got the SH-101 all over it, particularly the stuff from sort of 90s electronica and all that kind of stuff. And it was also a kind of turning point for when I started to think that synthesizers could be a really interesting thing to get into. We're talking sort of over 20 years ago when I was starting to think about putting down the guitar and getting into music production and stuff like that. And a friend of mine had one and I went to his house and had a go on it. And I was like, oh, what is going on with this low end? And what's this random thing? Random, what's that? It was one of those moments where I was just like, oh, I really need to get into these synthesizer things. They're so much fun. And whilst there are plenty of synthesizers out there now that are probably a gazillion times cheaper than this, both hardware and software, that do exactly the same thing, I've always just had a little bit of lust towards owning one. Kind of like how one day I'd like to own a Ford Capri Mark II, even though they're probably terrible to drive. So here it is in all its grey plastic glory. It's grey. What's not to like about grey? It's otherwise in pretty much good condition. There's a sort of suspicious stain there. And, some of these like kind of sort of things are, this is a bit loose on the frequency thing here. That's probably going to come off whilst I'm shooting this. And this one here hasn't even got one. This little sort of, the nipple thing is not present, which is a shame because we all like a present nipple. Sorry about that. Let's just have a quick guzzle of beer. Okay, so yes, again, here it is in all its grey plastic glory. It's really plasticky, but there's some lovely analog gremlins working inside to make it do what it does. And it actually can do quite a lot. I've been playing with it now for a few months, mostly just using the synthesizer by itself, or I have experimented with plugging some, I think I plugged in my varigate and my voltage block into the CV gate in to sort of see what I could do with that. But really, I kind of just like it as a go-to instant rave noise box, or because maybe I want to play Balls of Canada riff. So for some of you who are familiar with this, there isn't really much I need to say. But for some of you who aren't familiar with this, then maybe you could just sort of see this as a kind of like a little opinion piece on something that I consider to be a bit of a little bit of modern electronic music history. Anyway, let's just program one note into the sequencer and just have a go. See what we... Oh, that low. You get that low end there? Yeah, it's a rave box. It's an instant rave box. My favorite thing that I like to do with it is I like to kind of take advantage of the keyboard tracking to the VCF. So if I sort of like load in a kind of just like a pattern that's sort of just going up and down the keyboard a little bit. Let's see what that's like. We put the keyboard tracking to the VCF. We get these like hypnotic, just mad hypnotic kind of rave. It sounds a bit... Oh, I've got the portamento up. That's fine. There we go. So I think it goes without saying that this is a machine for kick drums. Absolutely. It's the amount of low end on this filter is just incredible. Great for percussive patterns. The envelope is so aggressive but so accessible. You can come right down to just pitter pats. But as we add in, so what's making it so percussive is that the amplitude envelope and the envelope on the voltage controlled filter essentially share this envelope, which just makes it great for percussion sounds and just for plucky things, plucky bass lines. But we've also got the option of injecting a little bit of the modulation into the VCF via the modulator here, which is also kind of the global clock of the sequencer. And then we've got some waveforms here. We've got like I guess that's like a triangle or it's sort of it's not really a saw. It's just sort of it's just up and down like that, really, like a triangle. We got square. Oh, it's quite actually, it's a little bit greasy. There we go. It's quite stiff to switch that. Oh. Okay. We got a square, but we got random as well, which is basically my favorite thing. So if we just inject a little bit of the random into the sequencer, it can very quickly get quite funky. Bubbly, bubbly, lovely, bubbly, 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 lovely, bubbly. Go an octave lower. Yeah. It's just rave. It's just a rave machine. It's an endless rave box. Okay, so a kick drum is probably a good place to start. So let's come down. Let's go down as low as we can go. That's the sub oscillator. I think we'll just use the normal one. So we'll put the res up like really, really, really high so it really screams, and then the frequency really down low. A lot of envelope. And then just pull this all the way down. Yeah, that's a pretty good kick drum. A little bit of release, maybe. That's all right. We can experiment with the timbre of that kick drum by just adjusting this envelope. Make it less clicky. More clicky if we increase it. Less clicky if we decrease it. Yeah. Increase the frequency on the filter to maybe just change the tuning. Lovely. Add a bit of noise if we want. Yeah. Perfect for kick drums. I mean, that just took no time at all. Snare drums, on the other hand, a little bit more tricky. We do have a noise source, and we do have the ability to modulate both the VCO via this noise source here and the VCF. I don't know if this noise source is basically this one or if they're two different ones. I don't know, but it's pretty good. We've also got three oscillators, I think. Well, we've got this one. It's basically a saw, but when you filter it right down, you can get a perfectly nice sine wave out of it. And then there's a sub oscillator for that. And then this pulse width square wave, we'll get onto that later. Let's see if we can do a snare. I think probably it might be a bit of a fruitless endeavor. Unless you want to make a Kraftwerk snare. Although this is probably a little bit too late for Kraftwerk, I think. I mean, this came out, I think, 86 or maybe it was 84 or something. And from what I read in the Wikipedia, it was something of a commercial failure at the time and then sprung back into popularity in the 90s, which seems to be a common case for some Roland things. Don't know if there's a pattern there. But, that one just might be my opinion. Anyway, so, okay, we'll put some noise in there. Let's put the modulator to noise. Whoa, what is that? That's like a Blah 1 hi-hat right there. Oh, that is nice. Whoa! That's very nice indeed. Oh my goodness. I think I've unleashed the wasp's nest inside the SH-101. Whoa. Oh, that's some nice noise right there. Oh my goodness me. So that is... Okay, let's just try adding some noise from the modulator to the VCO. Yeah. That's pretty unpleasant. That's farty. That's far too D2. Quite nice down here, though. Little glitchy waveform. Up there, not so nice. But let's use it anyway. See if we can make a snare drum. I think it's going to be a bit tricky. Maybe it's more of a clap sound. So it's got some character. It's not very aggressive sounding snare drum, but it's not a snare drum. That's the sound. That's a Foley sound effect of someone walking on gravel. It sounds good though. I mean, you know, we're using the SH-101 to make Foley sound effects. No, I want to find a snare drum. Come on. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Claps, hi-hats, fine. Snare, perhaps not. Yeah, perhaps not. Lots of juicy noise, though. Thunderstorms. So yeah, you were probably coming to this video thinking, oh, he's going to play Roykabiv on it or something. And no, I just made some rain sounds. So that's, yeah, welcome to my channel. So whilst it does have a very lovely pure sound by itself, it can start to get very exciting when you start to use it with other things, such as like distortion pedals. I had the intention to plug this into my rat pedal until I realized that my rat pedal had actually fried in the post. And so is now going to the bin. But I do have just tucked away under here, my just down here somewhere, I have my Line 6 HX Stomp, which is digital, but for me, it's just a really good solution for quickly dialing in some classic pedals and screwing around with it. So I've got, let's just put in a little sequence. In fact, I had one in there from before. Yeah, so I've got a little sequence there. So I'm going to put on, first the LA2A compressor model on the HX Stomp, and I'm going to use something called the deranged. What's it called? It's called the deranged master. I'm not sure what pedal it's based on, but let's. And already we can hear that noise screaming out of the SH-101. So whilst it's idling, it also does some interesting stuff whilst it's idle, which I like very much. Just hear it's whizzing away. Anyway, let's turn all that stuff back down, and let's fire. Yeah, can really start to pump. With a bit of compression and a good overdrive pedal, you can make this thing go absolutely nuts. Reverb on it now. Kick drum and a hi-hat and you're basically set for a rave. let's oh, pardon me. Let's just do. Listen to that. What's that? It's like a little SH-101 choir, ghost choir hidden in there somewhere. What is that? Oh, lovely. Okay, anyway, well, I can't really make it stop. It's just even the volume doesn't do anything. Let's turn all that off for a bit. Let's turn all those pedals off for a bit. Oh wow. You just dial anything in and it sounds fun. Right, let's get rid of all this. Let's try a slightly more interesting sequence, something that's a bit more melodic. So you've got this very basic sequencer here, which can be clocked by the external clock. I think once you go to the clock in, I think that kind of effectively gets bypassed. I haven't tried, well, I've tried that with Eurorack, but at some point I'm going to see if I can use that with just a sample of a clock coming out of a DC coupled audio interface into that, see if I can clock it to Ableton Live. Although that said, underneath here I do have the Novation Remote SL Mark III, which has CV and gate outs on 2 channels. So there's some potential there. I did try to sort of just plug in some CV into the mod socket here. I think that the grip is the connection, and then this is the actual destination for the CV. But just coming out of maths, I think I plugged maths into it, and I don't know, didn't really work as expected. Maybe I was doing something wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. But let's try and do a sort of more melodic sequence. Let's sort of start in the middle. So we'll go load, put one note in, another one, and then this one. Let's see if I get this right. Hold that one, which means it'll do a slide. So you just step through, you enter the keys, and then you press the keys, and it adds the note to the sequence. Rest. Let's put a rest in, and then a hold there. Let's see what this. It's a bit fast. So let's have a listen to what the square wave pulse width square wave is doing. So now I've currently got that linked to the LFO, but I don't need to. I can manually set the pulse width with this. Or indeed the envelope. With the LFO, you set to the pulse width, you can get that very nice kind of re-space line sort of sound, which if I just stop would be like, oh, hang on. Bass lines. And a lot of low end on there. So I've linked the pitch bender is it's kind of funny. I think it's in like semitones, or so it's 0 semitones, 5 semitones, and 10 semitones, which is kind of weird. I haven't worked it out because it's not 10 semitones, because I've had to put it just shy of 10 in order to get it 1 octave up, which would be 12 semitones. I've no idea what those numbers mean. But anyway, you can also link the pitch bender, or this little thing here, to the VCF as well. So it's going to open and close the filter when I do the bend like this. If we go quite low, you can hear how it's opening it up. And also we can apply it to the to the mod. Oh no, that's this way. I'm gonna apply a little bit of pitch modulation. If I maybe go for something less Reese and a little bit more. Okay, let's maybe try and do like a sort of funky 80s thing. Yeah. That's nice. So that's like bending up and this way and that way at the same time. It's a very expressive keyboard. I'm no keyboard player. I like to... I know my way around, but I don't have any technique or anything. I just sort of mess about. That's nice. Yeah. Where would the blue note be in E flat? Yeah. Actually, I'll do it in C. Oh, yeah, anyway. So that's kind of fun, sort of screaming. Oh, yeah. Let's put the decay all the way up. I'm just going to keep going for as long as I hold it, I think. Oh, no, that's the sustain, right? Yeah. Let's turn the portamento up a bit. Yeah, fun. A little retro, but, you know, still, it was a good laugh. Let's have another go on that sequence. Let's turn the distortion back on. There's also the Arpeggiator as well, which is kind of nice. You just turn on and then you just hold some keys. At least I thought so. Let's actually just turn all that junk off. There's a little bit much. Do we have to? How do I turn it on? How do I turn the Arpeggiator on? Oh, there we go. But why wasn't it? Okay, yeah. So you have to. So you just turn it on and off like that, or you go up, down, or down. So down, and up. And then hold. You can just press once and just leave it, which I quite like. That's a little bit polynomial C or whatever it's called. Tiny little bit. What did I do? I can't remember what I did. Now it's gone. It just waltzed in and waltzed right out again. What? I can't remember how polynomial C, something like. No. I'm not going to try and do that. It's not that type of channel. Yeah, you can just really quickly just get fun riffs going. They're a little bit round and round and, you know, a bit 80s, but it's an 80s synth. It was trendy at the time. Well, although maybe it was trendy afterwards. I don't know. I think Depeche Mode were quite into the SH-101, weren't they? And there was a lot of like those sort of post-punk bands that were quite into it. I'm not here to talk about the history. I'm just here to tweak faders. I love that. The modulator set to random with a little bit of mod on the filter just makes it a bit funky, just gives it a bit of life. Yeah, acid. Okay, that'll do. Stop now. Okay, so that is I think that's probably going on too long now. So there you go. That's the SH-101. I'm going to be using this. In fact, I'm going to make some new tracks with this, particularly to do the bass lines and the lead lines, and maybe the kick drums as well. I'm just going to sample some percussion sounds out of it, make a little drum kit. But I'm really dead set on using this in some tracks I'm going to work on, certainly in the first part of this year. So if you'd like to hear those, then keep a lookout. And yeah, so probably what I'll do now is I'll go and put the recording I got straight out of here, which I'm now recording into Ableton. I'm just going to go and put that file on Patreon. So if you want to download it and chop up the sounds, make samples out of it, do whatever you want. And then later down the line, I'm going to make like a proper sort of sample pack of lovely SH-101 goodness in all its grey and white glory, and little bits of orange and green as well, and yellow and red and green again. Okay, so thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon and get access to a whole load of stuff to do with music. And thanks. See you soon for another SH-101 video. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Bye.